Bear Academy.
Today was the first time I've driven since my accident last summer. The proposition was already too dangerous to consider, given my inability to recognize roads and cars. Things have changed, however, in the 3 months I've had to adapt to my condition. I know what cars and pedestrians look like now, and even though I can't exactly see colors, I've learned to decipher lights and turn signals. Still can't read street signs, of course. Nevertheless, I managed to make it safely to our destination with Saya and Yo in the backseat. It was Saya who came up with the idea of a new hideout, an abandoned building she's discovered while living with Dr. Ogai. Yep, that looks inviting. In these hilly, suburban residential areas, it's not hard to find thick patches of undeveloped forest just off the beaten path. Saya's old playground is located in one such secluded area, unaffected by the flows of everyday life. It used to be a privately operated sanitarium hidden among the silent trees. After the owners went bankrupt, it remained unsold and was eventually forgotten. After I left Saya and Yo in the hideout, I returned to town to make some preparations. Now I'm finally back at our new refuge. Feels like home. For all the flesh bits and bobs. I liked this ruin from the moment I saw it. Mountains of construction material and garbage littered the front yard, forming a serviceable barricade. This place looks even less likely to receive unwanted attention than our house. Since my brain sees humans as revolting monsters, places they've been tend to stink. Does it make sense? Am I losing my mind? I don't know. Places they've been tend to stink or seem covered in filthy slime. Ruins like these, long empty of life, are the places I find the most restful. I'm back, I call out to let them know I'm no stranger. Then I go down to the basement where they're hiding. What's up, Gremlin? Welcome back. Were you okay with the car? It was no problem at all. I figured out how to tell which roads are one way. As long as I keep my speed down, there's nothing to worry about. So, how are things here? I took a look around, and as I thought, there's no sign that anyone's been here since I found this place. It's safe. I see. Let's hope it stays that way. I'm a little worried that this abandoned building could become a hangout for biker gangs or homeless people. We'll just fucking kill and eat them then. It's probably because of all the trash piled up front. Most people won't get anywhere near that, don't you think? I guess. It doesn't bother me at all. I rather like it, in fact. But of course, normal people would feel differently. So, how was your shopping? Did you find something good? Sure did. An axe, okay. I proudly unwrapped the weapon I just bought from a camping goods store. A 1 meter long wood axe, the biggest and sturdiest I could find. I like how this was right next to a sign saying that long knives are illegal. Seems like you could do way more damage with one of these. Yeah, but long knives can be more easily concealed. Also, why? This might be a plot hole or like an oversight, but why is the axe flashy, but Fuminori's clothes aren't? Shouldn't his clothes also be like weird and fleshy in his eyes, or is he like actually wearing a, you know, the skin of another human being? I grip the axe with both hands, testing its dependable weight, then swing it like a baseball bat. Deadly steel blade sweeps through the air right where a person's neck would be. Yo, who sprawled out on the floor, flinches at the sound and curls himself into a ball. A nice flesh ball. How sharp is it? Want to just test it on Yo? I mean, I guess she can regenerate. Oh, don't make this into like some guru porn. Please don't. I don't think that's a good idea. I definitely wasn't expecting Saya to suggest anything so brutal. You don't need to worry. Her new body can heal pretty easily from cuts and such. But I'm sure it'll still hurt. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. It must have slipped her mind completely. She smells at the oblivious Yo as if to hide her embarrassment, then says, but her screams are pretty adorable, don't you think? Oh, you sick fuck. I really hope you do get your karma at the end of this game. Well, I just wouldn't feel right using an axe on a human. Really? Then what about Koji? That's easy. It should be obvious, but I guess that Saya still doesn't understand. I don't see him as human. I'll have no trouble cutting him into pieces. It really makes a difference? Yeah, humans have a conscience, you see. No matter how much you hate someone, you can't help but think twice about killing them. And that's how I'll win. Really? Saya seems awfully subdued. I guess she's concerned about what'll happen when I have it out with Koji. He's bigger and stronger, so I might not have much chance against him in a straight up fight. But what's just slaying a monster to me is murder to him. This is big. He'll definitely hesitate when it counts. I'm a little worried, Saya says softly, staring at the floor with unusual gravity. You can never be sure how someone will react. It's dangerous to rely on that. She raises her head and looks straight at me. Don't you think it'd be better if I hunt him? I appreciate Saya's consideration, even though it could be interpreted as a lack of faith in me. She's still putting my safety above hers. Nevertheless, I can't accept her heartfelt suggestion. Oh, I need to pour myself another drink because my throat is getting awfully dry again. Make sure to stay hydrated, kids. And maybe eating while playing this game isn't the best idea, but I've got a nice box of grapes. Delicious. Now, if I had Fuminori's condition, they would probably look like, I don't know, eyeballs or pustules. Invigorating. With your strength, you might be able to overpower a girl like Yo, but I think it'd be hard for you to take down a guy. The bitter memory of Saya's rape is still fresh. Yeah, talking about grapes. Yeah, still fresh in my mind. Saya falls silent for a moment, seeming to understand what I'm thinking, but then comes right back to stubbornly press her case. But if she can't feel emotion, then is the love she's feeling for Fuminori real? Or is it just like something she pretends to get more yogurt? My first attack went fine though. Most humans go limp as soon as they see me. It was the same in hospital. You were the only one who could talk to me. I guess you have a point. I can't imagine personally, but I suppose it's possible that Saya's appearance is shocking enough to make someone lose their nerve. Susumi was able to gain the advantage because he had the same condition as me, which let him see Saya as a cute girl. You know, in kind of like horror movies or things like that, I always get a little mad when they hype up the monster and then never show it. But with this game, it's done so spectacularly that I really hope we don't see Saya's true form. Because what you don't know, you make up in your mind, and that's just a lot more horrifying. In terms of this game here. Not like movies. Susumi was able to gain the advantage because he had the same condition as me, which let him see Saya as a cute girl. Fear doesn't necessarily make people weaker, however. Depending on the situation, it can even send someone into a berserk rage and make them harder to put down. In other words, such a tactic would be the same sort of gamble that Saya's worried about. Alright Saya, how about this? When I tell Saya the new plan that just popped into my head, her gloomy frown turns into a bright smile. That's perfect, you're so smart, Fuminori. Oh, stop. It's not exactly a great plan, but I guess the fact that it lessens the risk to me is enough to excite her. She's so easy to please, but that's part of what makes her so cute. So when's Koji coming? I don't know. He'll call sooner or later, and then I'll lure him here and finish him. Koji will come. I know that he won't leave us alone. We could just keep running, now that we've started, but I want to eliminate Koji as soon as possible. Therefore, when he contacts me, I intend to meet with him unless it's an obvious trap. Okay, this kind of got like the vibes of Final Showdown. We're finally going to get more human meat. Too bad it's just going to rot without a refrigerator. I mean, doesn't that make it better for you? Why don't we use it to trap other animals? It could be bait for stray cats or crows. Oh, don't eat cats. That's too dangerous. If an animal gets away with the meat, someone might find it and wonder where it came from. Good point. Humans are extremely dangerous and their filthy, stinking bodies make me sick just by being nearby. Ironically, however, nothing tastes better than their meat. I truly regret having to abandon our well-stocked fridge. I mean, you could have easily packed some of that in the car. Forest around here is full of animals. I don't think we'll have any trouble finding food. We have 3 mouths to feed, are you sure? Leave it to me. I may not look like it, but I'm a pretty good hunter. I'll be sure to keep us well fed. Do you even need to eat? Or do you just need the cum? Okay, looks like you're going to be the breadwinner of this family. Saya giggles happily at my praise. I find these childish qualities of hers adorable. We get it. She looks like a child. And you're fucking her. I wonder how long we'll be able to relax this time. Because of the casual way she says it, I almost miss the emptiness to which her question leads. Yeah. Saya's right, this won't last forever. No matter how safe this hideout might seem, we will have to abandon it eventually. The slightest mistake could put our life together in jeopardy. Just like when I failed to silence Koji. Some dumb kids might decide that this old ruin is a good place to test their courage, or this land might be targeted for a new development. In order to be together with Saya, I have chosen to live apart from society. We will never find lasting peace in this world teeming with humans, not unless we can somehow escape from it. Think of it like going on a journey, just the two of us. I put Saya into my arms and fold my hands around her slender shoulders, then whisper. Life is like a journey anyways, nothing stays the same forever. The only difference is whether time passes you by or sweeps you up from its flow. I guess you're right. Saya smiles softly, perhaps in resignation, perhaps in sadness. Either way, there is peace and contentment in her expression. But we'll be together, so I'm not lonely. You're not lonely either, are you? No. I have no regrets. As long as I can hold Saya in my arms, I will gladly pay any price. And besides, she adds brightly, trying to cheer me up, one day we won't have to hide anymore, I can promise you that. Sounds like a fairy tale, but for some reason she seems absolutely certain. Are you just gonna take over the world? The day might be tomorrow, or it might be far off in the future. It's my first time, so even I don't know when the sign will come. What sign? I'm a little scared. I have no idea what Saya's prophetic words mean, but this isn't the first time that she'd said or done anything mysterious. She's performed any number of miracles already. So there's hope for us too? Yeah, she says with a cheerful nod. It will be my last present to you, Fuminori, my first and final duty. Don't tell me you're going to fuse. The hands of his watch move with agonizing slowness, as though counting down to the end of the world. In the hours since contacting Ryoko, Koji went back to his apartment, showered, changed clothes, and even had his first full meal in days. He wanted to take a nap, knowing that he needed to rest, but no matter how hard he tried, sleep never came. Forcing himself to relax only made his nerves colder and sharper. Nothing else to do, he decides to wander the city until nightfall. Downtown Tokyo is bustling, surrounded by smiling pedestrians, bright lights, and windows decorated early for Christmas. He feels as if all of the happiness in the world has been gathered in this very place. Koji takes it all in, burning into his memory like it's the last thing he'll ever see. Is the world so beautiful because of the horrors that lurk in the shadows? The glow of the city can no longer warm him. Perhaps that is why it seems so precious. Koji watches the city for hours. It feels unreachably distant, like reading the obituary of someone you loved long ago. His phone rings at 8 PM. It's Ryoko. Their conversation was short. She hangs up as soon as they decide where to meet. And so ends Tono Koji's final night of peace. Foreboding. Ryoko arrives at the diner at 1 AM, 1 hour later than agreed upon. She has a heavy-looking duffel bag under her arm. Koji doesn't feel like asking what the bulges represent. Maybe guns, armed to the teeth? Sorry, I had a lot to get together. Ryoko doesn't sound at all apologetic, but Koji decides to just nod expressionlessly. Only a few tables are filled at this hour, like lonely islands in the midst of the vast restaurant. After sending the bleary-eyed waitress away with an order for 2 coffees, Koji and Ryoko are left all alone in the corner of the dining area. So, did you find what you were looking for? Koji asked bluntly while sipping dutifully from his 3rd cup of watery, tasteless coffee. I like to think I didn't make you wait for nothing at least, though I'm still not sure of anything. I think Fuminori is under a lot of stress. I've left him hanging for a day since I told him I'd call. You really think you have him on edge? His reaction to the name Saya was very clear. In the silence that follows, Koji tries to soothe his parched throat with another mouthful of weak coffee. I see, Ryoko mutters, so it is Saya. It's obvious that her grimace isn't for the coffee. You know, don't you? Koji asks, his tone almost confrontational. You know what the Saya is. Ryoko tries to ignore Koji's question by nursing her coffee, but that only works until the cup is empty. Staring at the brown stain at the bottom of her cup, Ryoko says, her voice hard and flat. You were foolish enough to ignore my warning once. But I'm just as stubborn as you are. So I'm going to say this one more time. Go home, Tono, and forget everything that's happened. You really are stubborn, Koji replies, smiling bitterly instead of glaring at her like he did before. Are you saying that I still haven't crossed the line separating me from you and Fuminori? You still haven't seen the most damning part of all this. As far as you're concerned, Ryoko continues with a disparaging smirk. Your best friend in the whole world suddenly went crazy and became a cannibal. That's all this thing is to you, isn't it? I mean, kinda. That's all? The things that Fuminori has done are so horrifying that Koji's only recourse, his only hope of coping, is to kill the man who was once his friend. Yet despite that, Ryoko makes this nightmare sound like just the beginning. Koji still doesn't understand where her morbid cynicism comes from, nor does he want to. You say there's something more, but aren't you just imagining it? See, that's how I know your wounds are still shallow. Her brusque tone says that she doesn't care whether or not Koji is satisfied with her explanation. If you back out now, they'll probably heal, given time. You haven't crossed the final line yet. Koji considers Ryoko's words calmly, without letting himself get emotional like before. The final line, true, Fuminori is somewhere beyond that. Although Koji has gone far enough to be willing to kill Fuminori, he has no intention of eating his enemy's flesh once he's dead. That at least still separates the two. Then what about Ryoko, who has treated Koji like an ignorant fool ever since she saved him from the well? How close is she to Fuminori? What was that noise? You're saying your wounds are deeper than mine? Yes, this is a competition. In response to Koji's biting question, Ryoko's mocking smile turns inward. This gun was my father's, you know? Ryoko pats one of her duffel bags, bulges. His hunting club kicked him out when it disappeared from his locker. I feel bad about that. My parents were always proud of me. They probably never even suspected that I was the one who took it. So you had a good reason for taking it. No, not at all. Her quick denial isn't what Koji was expecting. At the time, the Ogai mess had already ended. At least, that's what I thought. He vanished without a trace, and I was sure I'd never see him again. I didn't steal his gun because I needed to shoot someone. Then why? Because I couldn't sleep, that's all. Ryoko pauses, perhaps needing time to decide how best to explain. Until then, she continues, choosing her words carefully, I was sleeping with a machete next to my bed. I couldn't stand being alone at night, you see. I need to know that no matter what horrors the world might hold, I still had some power against the madness. I needed a weapon I could count on. Ugh. Koji doesn't know what to say. He's amazed, impressed even, that someone with such a serious case of delusional paranoia could function as one of T University's top doctors. It didn't work though. My nightmares kept on getting worse. A machete just wasn't enough to let me sleep peacefully. That's when I stole my father's gun. By cutting the barrel down like this, the shot spreads over a wider area and causes more damage. I heard that even in America carrying a sort of shotgun is a crime, but with this gun sitting in the back of my closet, I was finally able to sleep. 1 night out of 3, that is. At this point, Ryoko seems to have gotten everything off her chest, smiling like someone who just finished a hard job, she adds. A gun's a great thing to have, you know, it really is. You can use it to blow your enemies away, and if that doesn't work, you can always stick it in your mouth and pull the trigger. Doctor, you need help. Thanks for the honest opinion. You won't be able to talk like that for much longer though, not if you go any further. Koji is already doubtful that meeting with Ryoko was the right thing to do. The one thing that he and Ryoko have in common is an unwillingness to leave Fuminori to the proper authorities. Fuminori not only killed Koji's lover and friend, but even went so far as to defile their corpses. Koji isn't about to give him the chance to get off on an insanity plea. No matter what crimes he must commit, Koji will end Fuminori with his own 2 hands. If he doesn't, he knows that he will never sleep again. It helps to have a partner in crime, but only when that partner doesn't cause trouble. Ryoko talks big about exposing Ogai's secrets, but she might just have a head full of delusions. If so, Koji needs to rethink this whole thing. If you're telling me to leave this to you, Koji says with unflappable determination, then please give me some reason to trust you. Prove to me there's a reason for you to be so obsessed with Ogai. Show me what you did. So you're determined to go all the way. Oh well. Ryoko smirks and shakes her head ruefully, but puts up no further resistance. She pulls a stack of paper from her bag and hands it to Koji. The loose leaf sheets are bound with string. After you read one line, it continues on the same line of the next page. Anyway, just skim it. As directed, Koji looks through the handwritten pages and gives up after less than 3 minutes. Is this a draft for a horror novel or something? I didn't think Ogai had such childish hobbies. Koji deliberately scoffs at the document, doing everything he can to show contempt for what he just read. At the same time, he tries desperately not to remember the mountain of bones in Ogai's bathtub and the unidentifiable smell permeating Fuminori's house. Ooh, time to take a sip. Stay hydrated, kids. Delicious. The specimens that Ogai brought to the hospital 1 year ago were just as unbelievable, Ryoko says, coldly ignoring Koji's disdain. Apparently, he continued his research in secret, using our supplies without permission. But he made a mistake and was discovered. That's when things got crazy. Judging by the equipment he was trying to use, he meant to treat his experiment as a P3 level biohazard. To be honest, even that might not have been sufficient for what he was dealing with. We should have evacuated the nearby civilians, but the big shots did their thing and made the whole mess disappear. In exchange, we were left with the task of exterminating every single rat on campus, including the things that used to be rats. Oh, so Saya transformed the rats from, Oh, a realization just clicked in my head. So Saya uses cum to read and learn the DNA of humans so that she can rearrange them. So Saya, after... That's gotta be a brand new sentence. This sentence has never been muttered in human history. So, after Saya drank rat cum, she was able to alter the DNA of rats and turn them into flesh monsters. Holy hell. At their first meeting, Ryoko brushed Koji off when he asked about Ogai and Masahiko. Now, however, she's telling the whole story, her voice is flat and emotionless as machines. In the end, everyone gave up trying to explain what had happened. No one could figure out where these materials had come from, or what they were. In retrospect, they did the wise thing. They knew how to keep the line between reality and fantasy where it should be. I, unfortunately, was not so wise. Ryoko pauses for a moment, then grins with self-disdain so maniacal that it strikes Koji like a blow. I searched everywhere for Ogai, flushed him out, and finally learned what he'd been doing. I found the people he's been dealing with and who'd encouraged him to perform his experiments. That's when I started sleeping with a machete. I'd learned that just how absurd, how hollow, how worthless our precious reason is. As though fleeing from the quiet insanity that he keeps glimpsing in Ryoko, Koji finds himself paging through the loose leaf in his hands. He reads a line at random. There we go. Finally, good job. The organism's flesh is not fibrous, but reticulated. Put simply, it is an extremely tough substance that expands and contracts not in one direction but in all directions. This means that slashing or piercing damage has very little effect. Since the flesh can contract in any direction freely, any wound would be sealed instantly. That's handy. It's nonsense, what else can it be? If he lets himself believe it and everything else, all the logical rules that define the world will be rendered meaningless. Do you believe what's in this, Doctor? I lost any reason to doubt it a long time ago. Ryoko reaches into her duffel bag again, this time removing a stainless steel thermos that looks like able to hold about... I was gonna say Americans use anything but the metric system, but... Holds about 500 cubic centimeters of liquid. Instead of just saying... Well, no, hold on. 1 cubic centimeter is not 1 milliliter, is it? That's 10 milliliters. Is it not? I don't freaking know. I was gonna say 500 milliliters, but I think a milliliter is a lot less than a cubic centimeter. It's about a... So it's a 5-liter thermos? No, that makes no sense. Just give me the next line. This is the secret weapon that let us defeat Saya. It was a pain to get, but it should work like a charm. Oh, what is it? Horse cum? I can't take this anymore. Koji snaps, no longer able to disguise his frustration. Or maybe it's... cum infected with AIDS? Turbo AIDS? I don't care what Saya is. All I care about is killing Fuminori. I can't leave this to you. Let's see. Now that she's given up on persuading him, her ascent is swift and cold. At this moment, Koji's fate has likely ceased to matter to her. Alright then, you do everything you can to take Saya down. I'll take advantage of the opening you create. I won't get in your way, and I'll even take care of things when you screw up. Despite the determination in her voice, Koji can't bring himself to trust his paranoid doctor completely. Do you have a reason to kill Fuminori? I like things neat and tidy. I can't stand people like him who look outside of the vault. They're like cockroaches in your bedroom. Can you sleep with them scuttling underneath your pillow? The moment I find one, I kill it and stamp out all trace of its existence. I have to, for the sake of my mental well-being. Her reasons are similar to Koji's own. He doesn't want to bring a murderer to justice, nor does he want revenge for Omi and Yo. If he did, he could have left everything to the police. The reason he can is that the villain is Fuminori. The man he believed was his friend has turned his whole world upside down. Everything and everyone with a part in this madness is to blame, and that includes himself for allowing the betrayal. His self-loathing, his desire to destroy, is what keeping him on his feet. Okay, let's move in for the checkmate. Go ahead and call Sakisaka out. Koji nods, pulls out his cell phone, and calls his friend for what will probably be the last time. The call goes through quickly. Fuminori must have been waiting for her. Sorry to keep you waiting, Fuminori. I finished my preparations. Koji, where are you? Fuminori must have been quite anxious to hear from Koji. His voice is hard and completely emotionless. Let's just say I'm right behind you. Koji can't help but smile at Fuminori's disappointment. Perhaps Ryoko's maniacal sadism has rubbed off on him. Well, have you decided to let Tsukuba go? Yeah, I suppose I have no choice. He's lying, Koji thinks, remembering the contents of Fuminori's refrigerator. Just what part of Yo did you eat, huh? Did you cuff that poor girl up like a pig? Bring your evidence along with all the files you've gathered. When I'm satisfied that they're the real thing, I'll hand you over. Fine, where? First, come to Y Station on the O line. When I'm sure that you're alone, I'll tell you the exact location. You're being awfully careful. No tricks, you have 45 minutes. Fuminori hangs up without waiting for Koji's response. He won't tell me his location until he's sure I'm alone. Not bad for a medical student, I'm impressed. Ryoko's praise sounds serious, drawing a glare from Koji. We'll leave my car here. Is your trunk big enough for me to fit inside? Yeah, but are you serious? You've seen too many movies. He's gonna ride in his boot? This adventure is more dangerous than anything you've seen in a movie. Those bold words, Ryoko grabs her duffel bag and rises from her seat. Weren't you the one who chose to meet there? Yeah, why? Take responsibility for the coffee, she says and tosses in a check.
Ultimate Despair Live.